Of the 200 million sperm that begin this long journey, only about 50 ever reach the egg. The egg is surrounded by 2 layers of the nutritive cells which have nourished it on its journey in the fallopian tube. The sperm immediately release their digestive enzymes to break through these protective nutritive layers in order to reach the egg itself. The joint force of their exertions starts the egg rolling around like a mysterious celestial body. All the while, the sperm are dissolving their way through the egg's outer layers. The first sperm to reach the egg's membrane is immediately drawn inside. This is the tail of the penetrating sperm seen from the surface of the egg at enormous magnification. And this is a picture from inside the egg itself. It has been fertilized now for only a fraction of a second. Here is the penetrating sperm with a circle around it from a wider perspective. Only this single sperm will be allowed inside the egg. A rapid biochemical change took place in the egg's membrane. It is now impermeable to all other sperm. Once inside, the sperm too undergoes a dramatic transformation. It loses its midpiece and tail. The tailless head swells up, almost like rising bread. This hole in the sperm head's covering is the first indication that it is about to rupture and release its precious genetic material. Here, the first strand of genes is making its way out of the sperm into the egg. The genetic material continues to spill out from the sperm head. Its tightly packed molecules contain the father's hereditary message. They almost seem to have been dispersed by an explosive force. This is an extreme close-up of the genetic material itself. The magnification on the television screen is over 500,000 times. The genetic material of the mother's egg and the father's sperm combine. Two cells have joined to make a single new cell. And within 24 hours, that new cell begins to divide. These early cell divisions of the human embryo have never before been filmed. The fertilized egg now has two nuclei, the small indentations at the center of the cell. The first division of the egg is beginning. Now there are two identical cells, still within the same nourishing material of the original egg. No growth has occurred, but rather a distinction between cells. Once it has begun to divide, the fertilized egg is called a zygote. Now there are 4 cells. The divisions happen at such an accelerated pace that there's little opportunity for the new cells to grow before they divide again. Now there are 8 cells. Each new generation of cells in the zygote is smaller than the one before it. Another division, and another. As the zygote divides, it moves along the tube toward the uterus. Now it has become a dense, compact cluster of many cells. And after 5 days, it is called a blastocyst. It is still no bigger than the original egg. Its center is filled with liquid. Within 10 days of fertilization, the blastocyst implants itself firmly in the lining of the uterus. Already, the mother's hormones are directing changes in her body to prepare it to support the growing embryo. Barely visible to the naked eye, the embryo will be nourished by the lining of the uterus and then by the placenta. After 2 weeks, the embryo is elongated. It is barely 1/10 of an inch long. At the top, what will become its head and brain. Below, at the tail, the embryo is firmly attached to the placenta, which will nourish it. At 4 weeks, the embryo has arm buds and is distinctly curled. It has the beginning of eyes. At 5 weeks, the nose begins to take shape. At 6 weeks, leg buds are apparent. The embryo is less than ½ an inch long. It floats inside the fluid-filled amniotic sac. Its spine is clearly visible. At 7 weeks, the embryo is 3/4 of an inch long. It can move its hands, on which there are clearly defined fingers. Its internal organs are visible. The eye lenses are formed. The skull bones, rich in blood vessels, are growing together at an angle at the crown of the head. At 8 weeks, the fingers of the hands are well defined. and the toe joints of the feet are clearly visible. At about 10 weeks, the embryo is considered a fetus. It can move actively. There is the suggestion of an ear. It is 2 inches long, and it still has the stump of a tail. At 11 weeks, it is 2.5 inches long. At 12 weeks, 3 inches long. Here, the umbilical cord, connecting the fetus to its food supply. By 14 weeks, it can bring its hands together and suck its thumb. By 15 weeks, the sensory organs are nearly completely formed. And by 16 weeks, it is actively turning inside the mother. This fetus is 18 weeks old. It is 5.5 inches long and is here shown 15 times larger than its actual size. Its mouth and lips are fully formed, and it has the strange nasal plugs whose purpose is not yet understood. The eyes of the fetus are closed, but it can see. This sound is made by the fetus as it breathes in the amniotic fluid in what is known as fetal respiration. It brings the fluid in through its mouth and then breathes it out again. The umbilical cord is the fetus's link to its source of life, the mother. Here are the fetus's sex organs. All its important physiological systems have developed, but it will be at least another 8 weeks before the fetus has even a remote chance of surviving outside its mother's womb. Whatever signals the beginning of birth is still a mystery. But when the fetus is ready to be born, the uterus begins its powerful contractions, and the process of birth begins.
Pull your legs right in. Keep it coming in. Pull them right in. Keep it coming. Take another quick breath. Hold it. Push. Don't stop. Keep it up. Hard. One more in. Deep breath, quick. Push. That a girl. It's so close. Yeah. I wish you could see this. Can you see this, baby?
Okay, now stop pushing.
Stop pushing.
pushing.
Blow candles. Blow candles.
Oh,
beautiful job.